So, when we think about wrinkles, we usually think about what we can see in the mirror: lines, dryness, sagging skin. But the truth is, skin aging is not primarily a surface problem. It is a reflection of what is happening inside the body, specifically, how well the body is clearing damage and waste at the cellular level. Every single cell in your skin produces waste as part of normal living. If that waste is not removed efficiently, the environment around the cell becomes toxic and aging accelerates. Most people believe wrinkles are simply a sign of age, something unavoidable that appears when time passes a certain point. They look in the mirror and assume the skin has reached a limit, that after 60 or 70, change is no longer possible. But biology tells a very different story. Wrinkles are not just a record of years lived, they are a reflection of how well the body's internal environment has been maintained. And at the center of that environment is something profoundly simple: water. Tell your skin is not a dead covering. It is a living, breathing organ made of billions of cells that depend on water to function. When skin cells are well hydrated, they maintain their shape, their strength, and their ability to communicate with one another. When they are dehydrated, they shrink, weaken, and lose resilience. Fine lines deepen not because the skin has given up, but because the cells underneath are struggling to survive in a dry environment. As we age, this problem becomes more pronounced. The body's natural thirst signals decline, meaning older adults often drink far less water than their cells actually need. This leads to chronic low level dehydration that may not feel dramatic, but quietly alters the skin's structure over time. Collagen fibers stiffen, elasticity fades, repair slows down, wrinkles become deeper, not suddenly, but gradually. And what's remarkable is how reversible part of this process can be. Research has shown that increasing daily water intake improves skin hydration, elasticity, and surface smoothness, even in older adults. In one study, participants who increased water consumption showed measurable improvements in skin density within weeks. The skin didn't become young, but it became healthier. And healthy skin always looks better, regardless of age. Water does far more than moisturize, it creates the conditions for healing. When you drink enough water, circulation improves. Blood flows more easily through the tiny capillaries that feed the skin, delivering oxygen and nutrients while carrying away waste. This constant exchange is what keeps skin cells active and responsive. Without sufficient water, this system slows down, and the skin becomes one of the first places where decline becomes visible. So, I once came across the story of an elderly woman in her early 80s who had lived with extremely dry, deeply wrinkled skin for years. She had tried countless creams with little effect. When her doctor focused instead on internal hydration, consistent water intake throughout the day, supported with trace minerals, her skin began to change. It didn't happen overnight, but within a few weeks, her skin looked fuller, softer, and more resilient. The wrinkles softened not because time reversed, but because her cells were finally receiving what they needed to function again. Said this happens because water affects inflammation. Dehydrated tissues are more prone to chronic low-grade inflammation, which accelerates the breakdown of collagen and elastin. Hydration helps dilute inflammatory molecules and supports the immune system's ability to regulate itself. When inflammation quiets, the skin shifts from damage mode into repair mode. That shift is subtle, but over time, it makes a visible difference. Water also plays a role in cellular communication. Skin cells rely on chemical signals to coordinate repair and regeneration. These signals travel through fluid environments. When hydration is low, signaling becomes inefficient. Cells respond more slowly, repair is delayed, and aging accelerates. Restoring hydration restores clarity to these signals, allowing the skin to behave the way it was designed to. So, what makes this so powerful is that age does not shut this system down. Skin cells do not stop responding after 70 or 80. They continue to listen to their environment. When the environment improves, they adapt. This is why hydration can soften wrinkles even later in life. Not because it erases age, but because it removes one of the biggest barriers to cellular health. Wrinkles are often treated as a cosmetic flaw, but they are really a biological message. They tell us about hydration, circulation, inflammation, and cellular stress. When we respond to that message by supporting the body from within, the skin responds in kind. To water is not a miracle. It is something far more reliable. It is a fundamental requirement for life, and when it is supplied consistently, intelligently, and with care, it allows the body to do what it has always known how to do: maintain, repair, and protect. Even after 80, the body does not forget how to heal, it simply waits for the conditions that allow it to begin again. When we talk about aging skin, wrinkles, and that moment in the mirror where you suddenly wonder when time sped up, most people think the answer must be expensive creams or invasive procedures. But let me gently shift your perspective. In my work studying how the body protects itself, one thing becomes very clear: your skin is not separate from your biology. It is a living, responsive organ that reflects what is happening inside you. And one of the most powerful ways to support it begins with something incredibly simple: what you put into your water. Your body is constantly under attack from oxidative stress. This is not a buzzword, it's a measurable biological process. Every time you breathe polluted air, feel chronic stress, eat ultra processed food, or even just age, unstable molecules called free radicals damage your cells. Your skin cells are especially vulnerable because they are exposed to the environment every single day. Over time, this damage breaks down collagen and elastin, the scaffolding that keeps skin firm and smooth. Wrinkles are not just lines on the surface, they are signs of accumulated internal damage. So here's the hopeful part: your body has a built in defense system against oxidative stress, and it can be strengthened. Antioxidants are the molecules that neutralize free radicals before they harm your cells. In my research on disease prevention, including cancer, we've seen how antioxidants from natural foods activate protective pathways in the body. The skin benefits from these same pathways. When antioxidants circulate in your bloodstream, they reach the tiny blood vessels that nourish your skin, helping to preserve structure and function from the inside out. So now imagine turning your daily water into a delivery system for these protective compounds. Something as simple as adding fresh lemon, berries, or green tea extracts to your water introduces polyphenols, plant based antioxidants that have been studied extensively. For example, epigallocatechin gallate, or EGCG, found in green tea, has been shown in laboratory and human studies to reduce inflammation, protect collagen, and improve skin elasticity. Vitamin C from citrus doesn't just brighten the skin on the outside, internally, it is essential for collagen synthesis. Without enough vitamin C, your body literally cannot build strong skin. So I once met an 82-year-old woman during a wellness conference who had skin so vibrant it stopped people mid-conversation. She wasn't using luxury products, her routine was simple. She drank water consistently throughout the day, infused with lemon and herbal teas, and ate a diet rich in colorful plants. Her dermatologist confirmed what science already tells us: her skin showed lower markers of chronic inflammation. This wasn't luck, it was biology responding to nourishment. Dehydration plays a critical role here too, but not in the superficial way it's often described. When your cells are well hydrated, they function more efficiently, enzymes work better, nutrients are transported more effectively, waste products are removed faster, and dehydrated skin cells shrink and lose their ability to repair daily micro damage caused by sunlight and environmental exposure. Over decades, that damage accumulates into visible aging. Antioxidant rich water supports hydration at the cellular level, creating an internal environment where repair can actually happen. So there's also a fascinating connection between antioxidants, blood vessels, and skin aging. Healthy skin depends on a strong microcirculation. As we age, poor diet and inflammation can trigger abnormal blood vessel growth that contributes to tissue breakdown, a process I've studied deeply in cancer research. Certain polyphenols help regulate this process, supporting healthy blood flow while preventing destructive changes. When blood vessels function properly, oxygen and nutrients reach the skin more efficiently, giving it that natural, youthful glow people often assume comes from genetics. Now, what I want you to understand is this: aging is not just about time passing, it's about how well your body can defend, repair, and regenerate itself over time. Wrinkles are not an enemy, they are feedback, and when you listen to that feedback and respond with daily, consistent nourishment, even something as simple as upgrading your water, you give your body the tools it needs to age differently. This isn't about reversing age, it's about supporting resilience. When you choose to add protective compounds to your water every day, you're sending a message to your biology that says, I'm taking care of you. And your skin quietly and faithfully responds. When we think about youthful skin, memory, and vitality even in advanced age, we often underestimate one of the most profound biological truths: your body is constantly listening to what you give it. Every sip, every habit, every small daily choice sends information to your cells, and water, something we treat as ordinary, is actually one of the most powerful messengers of all. Inside your body, water is not just hydration, it is communication. It carries minerals, signals, and protective compounds that determine whether your cells struggle or thrive. One of the key drivers of visible aging, including deep wrinkles and dull skin, is chronic low-grade inflammation. This type of inflammation doesn't feel dramatic. You don't wake up with pain or fever. Instead, it quietly interferes with cell repair, damages DNA, and disrupts the balance of your microbiome, the trillions of bacteria in your gut that influence everything from immunity to skin quality. Research now shows that when the gut microbiome is imbalanced, inflammatory chemicals increase in the bloodstream, accelerating skin aging and even impairing memory. So here's where what you put into your water becomes remarkable. Adding natural compounds like soluble fiber from soaked chia seeds, trace minerals, or polyphenol rich plant extracts can directly support your gut bacteria. Beneficial microbes feed on these compounds and produce short chain fatty acids, which act like calming signals for your immune system. When inflammation drops, your skin cells regain their ability to regenerate properly. Collagen breakdown slows, elasticity improves. Wrinkles soften not because you mask them, but because you address their root cause.
Yeah.
I've seen this transformation repeatedly in real people. A man in his late 70s once shared that after years of digestive issues, brain fog, and rapidly aging skin, he began focusing on gut health through hydration and nutrition. He added mineral rich water and plant based infusions to his daily routine. Within months, his digestion stabilized. His focus returned. Even his physician noted improved skin tone and reduced markers of inflammation in blood tests. This is not coincidence. It's biology responding when the internal environment becomes supportive rather than hostile to water enriched with magnesium, potassium, and natural electrolytes also plays a crucial role in cellular energy. Every skin cell relies on mitochondria, the tiny power plants inside cells, to fuel repair and renewal. As we age, mitochondrial efficiency declines, leading to thinner skin and slower healing. Magnesium, in particular, activates hundreds of enzymes involved in energy production and DNA repair. When you deliver it consistently through hydration, you support cellular metabolism in a gentle, sustainable way. There's also an overlooked neurological connection. The same inflammatory processes that age the skin also affect the brain. Dehydration and mineral deficiencies impair neurotransmitter balance and blood flow, contributing to memory decline. When hydration is optimized and paired with anti inflammatory compounds, cerebral circulation improves. This is why some people report clearer thinking and sharper recall alongside improvements in skin. The body doesn't compartmentalize healing. When one system improves, others follow. Another fascinating aspect is how proper hydration influences hormones related to aging. Cortisol, the stress hormone, accelerates collagen loss when chronically elevated. Even mild dehydration is perceived by the body as stress, subtly raising cortisol levels. By maintaining mineral balanced hydration, you reduce this physiological stress signal. Over time, this hormonal balance translates into calmer skin, fewer stress lines, and improved sleep, which is when most skin repair actually occurs. Now, what makes this approach so powerful is its accessibility. This is not about extremes or miracle claims, it's about consistency. Day after day, you give your body water that does more than quench thirst. It nourishes your defenses, it supports your gut, it calms inflammation, and slowly, almost quietly, your biology begins to shift. Skin that once looked tired regains vitality, fine lines soften. Even at 70, 80, or beyond, the body shows us that aging is not a straight downward line. When people say, I don't recognize myself in the mirror anymore, what they're really saying is that their internal systems are overwhelmed. And the beautiful truth is that small, intelligent changes can restore that recognition. By respecting water as a vehicle for healing rather than a passive substance, you give your body a daily opportunity to protect itself. And when the body is protected, it remembers how to repair, how to regenerate, and how to age with strength and grace. When we look at wrinkles, thinning skin, or that sense that the face no longer reflects how young we feel inside, it's easy to believe that aging is something happening to us from the outside in. But biology tells a very different story. Aging begins deep inside the body, at the level of cells, blood vessels, and the immune system. And one of the most powerful tools we have to influence that process is something we interact with every single day: water. Not just water as a liquid, but water as a carrier of signals that tell your body whether to break down or to protect itself. One of the most overlooked drivers of skin aging is declining circulation. Your skin is fed by an intricate network of tiny blood vessels that deliver oxygen and nutrients and remove waste. As we age, these vessels can become damaged by inflammation, high blood sugar, and oxidative stress. When blood flows, skin cells are starved, collagen production drops, repair mechanisms weaken, wrinkles deepen. In my research on angiogenesis, the growth and maintenance of blood vessels, we've learned that the body is constantly deciding whether to grow healthy vessels or harmful ones. That decision is influenced by what we consume. Certain natural compounds, when taken consistently in water, help maintain healthy circulation. Polyphenols from foods like berries, pomegranate, hibiscus, and green tea have been shown to protect blood vessel lining, known as the endothelium. When the endothelium is healthy, blood flows smoothly. This is not just good for the heart, it's critical for youthful skin. Improved circulation means more oxygen reaching skin cells and better removal of inflammatory waste products that accelerate aging. I remember speaking with a retired schoolteacher in her early 80s who told me she noticed a visible change in her skin after focusing on vascular health. She began drinking water infused with berries and herbs daily, not because she wanted to look younger, but because her doctor advised it for circulation. Over time, her skin tone became more even, and friends started asking what treatment she was using. She wasn't doing anything fancy. She was simply supporting the blood vessels that keep skin alive. Another layer of this story is sugar. Excess sugar in the bloodstream attaches to collagen fibers through a process called glycation. This makes collagen stiff and brittle, leading to sagging and wrinkles. Even people who don't consider themselves unhealthy can experience this if their diet and hydration are not supporting stable blood sugar. Certain compounds added to water, such as cinnamon extracts or apple cider vinegar in small amounts, have been shown in studies to help improve insulin sensitivity. When blood sugar spikes are reduced, collagen stays flexible longer, preserving the skin's natural structure. Dehydration itself also plays a signaling role in gene expression. Your cells respond to adequate hydration by activating genes involved in repair and detoxification. When water carries trace minerals like zinc and selenium, these genes work even more efficiently. Zinc supports skin healing and immune defense. Selenium protects cells from oxidative damage. These minerals don't work in isolation. They work as part of a network that keeps tissues resilient over decades. What many people don't realize is that the immune system is deeply involved in skin aging. Chronic immune activation, even at low levels, leads to constant tissue damage. The skin becomes a battlefield instead of a shield. Anti-inflammatory compounds delivered through water can gently calm this immune overreaction. For example, curcumin from turmeric, when properly absorbed, has been shown to reduce inflammatory signaling pathways linked to aging. When inflammation quiets down, the skin finally has space to regenerate instead of constantly defending itself. There is also a psychological and neurological dimension. Stress accelerates aging faster than almost anything else. Stress hormones constrict blood vessels, degrade collagen, and disrupt sleep. Even mild dehydration increases stress signals in the brain. When hydration is optimized and paired with calming plant compounds, the nervous system shifts toward balance. People often report sleeping better, feeling calmer, and noticing fewer stress related lines on their face. This is not cosmetic, it is neurological health showing up on the skin. What makes this so inspiring is that the body never stops responding. Even later in life, the systems that protect your skin, circulation, immunity, metabolism remain adaptable. When you consistently give your body water that supports these systems, you're not fighting age, you're working with biology. Wrinkles don't vanish overnight, but the trajectory changes. The skin becomes stronger, clearer, and more resilient. And perhaps most importantly, people begin to feel aligned again, recognizing in the mirror a face that reflects vitality, not decline. When people hear bold claims about aging, wrinkles fading, or looking vibrant even at 80, skepticism is healthy. Science demands evidence, not miracles. And what I want to share with you is not a fantasy, but a biological reality I've seen repeatedly in research and in real lives. The body ache, when we talk about skin aging, wrinkles, and the belief that everything declines after a certain age, we are really talking about belief versus biology. Many people believe the body has an expiration date, that after 60 or 70, repair shuts down and damage simply accumulates. But when you look at the science of human defense systems, you see something very different. The body is designed to survive, it is designed to adapt. And even late in life, it retains an extraordinary capacity to protect and renew itself if it is given the right signals. One of the most powerful signals the body responds to is balance. Aging accelerates when balance is lost between damage and repair, inflammation and healing, breakdown and regeneration. Water plays a central role in restoring that balance because every biochemical reaction in your body occurs in a water-based environment. But water alone is neutral. What transforms it into a biological ally is what travels with it. One of the key drivers of accelerated aging is silent toxicity. We are exposed daily to pollutants, microplastics, heavy metals, and chemical residues that enter the body through air, food, and even the skin. Over time, these toxins interfere with cellular repair mechanisms. The skin, being a frontline organ, often shows this damage first through premature wrinkles, uneven tone, and loss of elasticity. The body does have detox systems, but they require specific nutrients to function efficiently. Compounds such as chlorophyll from plants, sulfur-based molecules, and certain polyphenols enhance the enzymes responsible for neutralizing and eliminating toxins. When these are delivered gently through daily hydration, the detox load on the skin decreases, allowing it to shift from defense to repair. I once spoke with a woman in her late 70s who had spent decades working in an industrial environment. Her skin showed signs of early aging by her 50s. In retirement, she made one simple shift. She focused on hydration infused with plant compounds that supported detoxification. Over time, her lab markers of oxidative stress declined, her energy improved, and while she never chased youth, her skin regained clarity and resilience. Her story reflects something profound. When internal stress is reduced, the skin responds naturally. Another critical piece of the aging puzzle is protein integrity. Collagen and elastin are proteins, and proteins are vulnerable to damage from heat, sugar, and oxidation. Once damaged, they lose flexibility, but the body is capable of producing new collagen well into old age if it has the right raw materials in a low inflammatory environment. Amino acids, vitamin C, copper, and antioxidants all play roles in collagen synthesis. When water is paired with citrus, herbs, or plant based extracts, it becomes a delivery system for these essential components. Over time, collagen turnover improves and the skin maintains strength even as years pass. There is also an often ignored connection between hydration, lymphatic flow, and skin appearance. The lymphatic system is responsible for clearing cellular waste, but it doesn't have a pump like the heart. It relies on movement and fluid balance. When hydration is inadequate, lymphatic flow slows, leading to fluid retention, puffiness, and inflammation in the skin. Consistent intake of mineral balanced water supports lymphatic circulation, helping the skin appear clearer and less congested. People frequently notice this as reduced facial swelling and a smoother texture, especially around the eyes and jawline. From a neurological perspective, aging skin is deeply connected to the brain. Chronic stress, anxiety, and poor sleep accelerate visible aging by increasing cortisol and reducing growth hormone, which is essential for tissue repair. Even mild dehydration has been shown to impair mood and increase stress perception. When hydration is optimized and combined with calming plant compounds, the nervous system shifts into a restorative state. Sleep deepens, growth hormone release improves, and during sleep, skin cells repair DNA damage accumulated during the day. This is why people often say they look more rested after improving hydration habits, even without changing skincare routines. What inspires me most is that none of this requires extremes. No harsh interventions, no chasing impossible ideals, just respect for biology. The body does not need to be forced to look younger, it needs to be supported so it can function better. When someone at 80 drinks water that nourishes circulation, calms inflammation, supports detox, and stabilizes stress hormones, they are not defying age, they are honoring life. Wrinkles then become something different. Not a failure, not a flaw, but a record of resilience shaped by how well the body was supported along the way. And the beautiful truth is that support can begin at any moment. The body listens immediately. Every